Right, here we go. Hello and welcome back to the Self-Help Bookshelf. We're all in great spirits here tonight. Hopefully you will be too by the end of this, because look, we got some different backgrounds. We've just been playing around with this a little bit, having a laugh, trying to get the mirror image. Anyway, we've been playing drunk games in the background without alcohol. It's brilliant. But we're going to tell you all about our 3 upcoming books, because incredibly they are all coming out in the next 4 and 6 weeks. So this is all really close now. And we're going to kick off with Emma. Emma, so your book is coming. Well, it's actually your book is out, isn't it? And the paperback due. And then you're
Yes.
launching on the 25th of September. Oh,
Yes,
September.
25th. Yeah,
So
25th.
yeah, so give us an update where you're at with your book and what people can expect, where to get it. Far away.
Where am I at with it? It's on Amazon now, the paperback. The Kindle is currently being uploaded, so that will be ready shortly. But the paperback is already live, so you can go and get that right now. Uh, it's a it's a book about relating. So primarily it's about relating to each other and yourself. So it talks a lot about differentiating between like your stuff and other people's stuff when you're interacting, and how to use that awareness to avoid conflict situations and to improve communication skills and social skills and relationship skills. And there's a huge amount of information in it. It talks about family dynamics, colleagues, school peers, all kinds of relationships that we encounter in life. So not just partners, but the wider family as well. Talks about labeling each other, and whose stuff that is when we're putting labels on people. And it talks about the messages that we pass down in fairy tales and whose stuff that might be. So it's really looking at stuff from a lot of different angles. And I'm really proud of it because it was really hard to write this one. I found it a really heavy writing process. There were days that I almost gave up on it, but I knew it was an important message and I knew that it had a place to help people. So I ploughed on, and we're here and I'm really pleased with it. I love the cover, which you can see in the background now, which is very me. It's very dramatic, it's very theatrical, which mirrors my love of the arts and how important I believe they are for mental health. Um, and it's a lady who is just sitting there in the middle of a storm, which so many of us do day to day. We sit in the middle of storms and we feel these hands trying to grab us, and they're trying to grab us with things that aren't ours and trying to impose their narrative on us. And if you don't have the awareness to understand that that's what's happening, it can feel a really scary place. So the message of my book is to be able to understand those narratives and messages. So yes, I'm really proud of it. I am very, very pleased that it's out.
Well done, Emma. That's incredible. And I love how that does, it kind of represents the influence and the voices and the kind of attachment of other people around us, and
Mhm.
the effect they have on us in our own life, and how we can
Yes.
create that kind of space and not necessarily cut those people out of our life all the time, but maintaining our boundaries. We're clearly on the cover, it shows this lack of boundaries and lack of
Yeah.
self-reflection. And I love how your book really reflects, you know, that cover really truly reflects what your book does to help somebody learn to maintain that bubble and grow a healthy relationship with themselves to keep that around. So well done, Emma. And I know it's been an incredible journey for you writing this one. Really
Yeah.
tough one. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to people embracing this. And absolutely, it is a life changer. So well done, Emma. I'm really proud of you for this one.
Oh, thank you.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Well done, Emma.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sue, have you
Thank you
got any
very
questions
much.
about Emma's before we move on to yours?
I haven't got any questions. I'm eager to read it, but I don't want to ask questions because the topics aren't the same, but there's some overlap, and I don't want to be talking about the wrong stuff when I have to speak.
Right. Emma knows how to answer. But no, that's great. So no, thank you anyway. And so yeah, so Sue, you've I'm really impressed with you because you'd already published 3 books. and you've done it without any guidance at all. You just got on with it, you've done it, and it was an incredible achievement. But the decision this year, so everybody understands, is Sue has taken those 3 books plus 2 others, one already written and one she's still writing, and we're condensing all 5 books essentially into a new trilogy, like a complete republish. And so your book, Misunderstood No More, is your first of like a start again, isn't it, with your material? It's like regather all your resources and starting again. And so, yeah, so please tell us more about your book, which is like
Misunderstood
here,
No
isn't
More.
it?
Misunderstood No More, Untangled by Love.
Fantastic.
So the book grew out of my own personal experiences at home, in education, and as an employee. And I, as an autist and somebody that has non-verbal learning disability, I often felt that I misunderstood what was going on around me. I was misunderstood. I was asked to dumb down, which I duly obliged, and then spent the next 5 decades finding my voice. And my prose, my photos highlight the challenges that the characters in the book face. And it comes from a lack of true awareness around autism, mutism, and nonverbal learning disabilities. And the characters were created to highlight specific situations and scenarios. And it was matched with art to bring out the emotional impact and the symbology of what it's like to feel different, to feel broken, and to not be the right shape for this world. I now hold a different perspective, that I am not broken, I am needed in these times, and I am the right shape for my body of work, which is using my voice, my paintbrush, and my pen. I think that the hardest thing, and this is where I think it overlaps with Emma, is, from the womb to the tomb, we are conditioned by family, by institutions, by government to conform, to be a certain way for society, oughts and shoulds of life. And fundamentally, a lot of that is projections of other people's opinions. Now, whilst you should do no harm to anyone and you should be kind and loving, if you don't come from your own essence and from your own truth of who you are, then actually you do more damage than than otherwise. Because if you aren't being authentic, then how can you expect people around you to relate to you in an authentic way? And then you get communication breakdown, you get financial muddles, you get all sorts of challenges that come from being misunderstood and misunderstanding.
Well done, Sue. And honestly, it's a beautiful book. And you're saying about overlap, and because we are the Self-Help Bookshelf and we're all in helping people with trauma and neurodivergent traits of all kinds and emotional awareness as we do, there is a lot of overlap, but at the same time, there is such a different world apart mentality in your book, where, yes, there is an overlapping as it is processing that trauma, but yours is so specific in how you describe your experience through your characters. Now, where you say characters, it is not storytelling. I just want to clarify this for readers. Sue, because I've read both Sue's and Emma's at this point, and the characters are actually elements of Sue herself. When she says about feeling broken, each character is an element of a fragment of who she felt she was growing up. And they beautifully portray how she felt in that moment, in that character. And as she said, that artwork, and I wish I had a copy here to show, because the artwork really does. Oh, you have a copy. Look at this. Really does support the character.
Which character do you want? And I'll show you the artwork.
To be able to just pick one at random and just open a page, and you might have to hold it right in front of you so it doesn't disappear in the Zoom background.
This is Silent Silky. Oh,
Yeah, you might have to hold it close to you and right in front of you. Hold it close to you
Right.
rather than the camera. That's it. So you've got the character on one side, and on the other side, Sue's artwork, which is going to be difficult to show with the background, but we can figure that out another day. But yeah, that's amazing. So every page is like that. There's character picture all the way through. And it is as much a beautiful book about your artwork as it is about the autism. And I think for somebody who's never experienced what it's like to have autism, and perhaps got a family member, whether it is a child or a partner or a parent who has autism, and they want to experience it from their perspective, your book is perfect for that. So yeah, if you literally hold it right in front of you, and whichever, that's it, there you go, we can see it
That's
now.
the Unleashed Urchin.
Wow, that's the Unleashed Urchin. That was the whole you, isn't it? But no, I think it's incredible how you've put this together. Just remember to hold it right close. Draw it to you, right in front of you.
Craig.
Okay, there's another personality. Right.
Do that. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, we can take that off another time and do another video. But yeah, so even your picture, your cover picture, like Emma's represents the theatrical, the daunting, your fragmented self is so beautifully reflected in that broken mirror. And the person is almost obscured in there. And then you've got that little drawing of the lady with her eyes kind of almost hidden from the world there. Beautiful. So well done, Sue. I'm really excited to see that come out. See you sharing that not only in our Facebook group, on our YouTube channel, on all of your social media, and the same with Emma. So if anybody wants to follow them, we'll put some links in the description, how to follow all of us, and sharing it within your networks as well. So well done. And see where, we want some real success with these on Amazon, because they deserve it. They deserve this as authors. But also, the more success we get for Emma and Sue with pushing these out, the more people these books will reach, and the more lives they will change and support and help and grow. So yes, fantastic. And then that leaves me. So my book will be releasing on the 2nd of October, but my launch event is on the 25th of October. So there's a little way to go for mine. 30 Love Values. Now, we've talked about the trauma, we've talked about the autism. And for me, having raised my son with autistic spectrum disorder, and having been through relationships of my own on various occasions, there was something that came out in a conversation a few months back about values in relationships. And it was when I was talking to our other member, Rory, and something about values that made me realize, if we've got people who are finding it difficult to understand their own emotions, and especially when you've got the neurodiversity and the emotional self-awareness hasn't kicked in fully and haven't learned to a higher level, then it can also be really difficult to understand the values that people bring to themselves, let alone a relationship. And so I decided to take a really light-hearted approach to this. I don't have a paper copy yet. And so I decided to start listing the values that I certainly recall using in relationships. And I was married for 28 years before I got divorced. And there was a lot that kept that marriage alive for many years. And so I listed these all out, and I've created just basically a repetitive structure for each value, where we talk about what the purpose of that value is, what it does for a relationship. There is 20 examples of how to use each value in a relationship. There's 8 examples of how to use that value to rescue elements of a relationship, even if it's something that sits within the other values. There is ideal outcome for using this value effectively, and a few more. So there's about 10 different sections to every chapter that takes you through a really easy, quick reference way of looking at that value and picking what could be helpful to you. Because one of the things that I noticed quite early on in my life through a traumatic relationship I had, was very abusive, did involve getting the police to get out. I learned very early on that if I didn't understand my own values and I didn't set my boundaries around them and I did not uphold my own boundaries, then how could I expect somebody else to? Like, if we want other people to respect us and support our boundaries, we need to know our own first, because we cannot expect somebody else to protect what we haven't put in place. And so that's why, to me, understanding values in a relationship has been important since I was in my early 20s. And it's something that I'd never really talked about a lot. But when I have spent the last 10 years studying emotional awareness, to me, this is an extension of what I do with my work anyway. So I do a lot around emotional awareness and mindfulness, about self-care and self-love and self-awareness. And to me, the values are an extension on what I already do. So I'm really excited, although this seems very different to what I do working with parenting teens and supporting adults parenting teens, or anybody supporting teens and young adults. To me, teenagers are people who are about to start going out and getting into relationships. Parents are also more likely to go through breakups or abuse in neurodivergent relationships as well. So to me, it just seemed an absolute no-brainer that I put this book together, but make it as light-hearted as possible and put this out there to try and help people save more relationships, more self-respect, protect boundaries, and have a better life. So that's where this comes from. And so the Kindle is already on pre-sale. The paperback comes out on the 2nd of October. And my launch event is on the 25th of October. And if you follow us to our Facebook group, we will be putting all of the events in the Facebook group for you to follow and actually come and join us on the live Zoom event for all of them. As a member of the group, you automatically get an invite, but you need to be in the Facebook group on Facebook to get an invite to the Zoom event. So there we go. Thank you, ladies. That's amazing. And Rory is going to start his book soon, so we'll do a catch up with him later. But his book will be out 30th of November. But for tonight, you know, we're all so close and it's all come together at all around the same time. We've planned our book launches a couple of weeks apart each, so we've got time to support each other as well. And so, yeah, honestly, I'm so proud of both of you for the work you've put in. It's been incredible. So any more questions for each other before we move on or say farewell?
I'd like to ask Emma what the motivation was for the book.
Oh, goodness. I've had a lot of trauma, not the same trauma as you, but I've had my own trauma around being misunderstood. And I think being misunderstood is really hard. I was in a school system where I didn't really fit, because I was a very deep thinker, very, very quiet person. And I didn't fit with the crowds. I was kind of the quiet one that everyone picked on because it was easy to pick on me because I was quiet. So high school for me was 5 years of hell. I had parents that were, through no fault of their own, emotionally unavailable to me as a child because of trauma that they were going through, which meant that I grew up feeling like I didn't really matter and that I should just be quiet. My dad worked nights, which meant that I had to be silent during the day, which meant that I also had no voice. So although I could speak, I wasn't allowed to. Um, and I grew up in a situation where that really set me in very, very bad stead for my adult relationships because it meant that I would enter into really unhealthy relationships where I would just settle for whatever was there. And I felt that was all I deserved. And I didn't have a voice to say, no, this isn't okay. I want more than this because I genuinely didn't feel like I deserved more than that. And I've had a lot of trauma through my marriage. It was a coercive control marriage again because it's easy pickings. If you're a quiet person and you've had it drilled into you that you don't deserve a voice, people will come for you. And that's the way it works, unfortunately. So um, I was really interested in putting in place some boundaries, which took me a long time. And when I did my therapy training, a lot of things fell into place for me that I hadn't really understood. about stuff and how much of other people's stuff I was absorbing and how much of that I was allowing to affect me when it didn't need to. But I'd never been aware enough to see that. And then if I was aware, I wasn't brave enough to change it. And so therapy training for me changed my life. My tutors are fully aware of how grateful I am to them for the course that I did because it really 100% did change my life. And if I had never got a job out of it, it did enough that I did the course because it just made me so aware on so many levels that I thought I need to share this with people. I need to bring this to other people who haven't done therapy training, who haven't got that awareness and are still stuck in those patterns. I need to help them. I need to bring it out there and I need to put it out there in a way that's accessible to anyone that's got access to Amazon and wants to buy it. So yeah,
Thank you, Emma.
you're welcome. I want to just say as well, I'm really excited to read your book. Just for the same reasons, I think, although it's a different story, I feel like we're both upcycling trauma. And I've got a chapter in my book about upcycling trauma. And actually, it's beautiful that we can upcycle it. And it's equally beautiful that through art, you've got your artwork. And in my book, I've got poetry. And it's beautiful that through art and through words and through poetry, we can put it into something that's really beautiful that people can relate to. And I feel like that's really special. So yeah, I'm really excited to read yours too.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Oh, it's amazing. And yeah, I also want to say publicly as well, thank you to Sue, because Sue's done a beautiful review on my book last week. And I know Emma's in the process of reading mine as well. So we've all been support. This is why we are the Self-Help Bookshelf. We are a collaboration of self-help authors who are self-publishing. And because we're all in coaching, mentoring and therapy, including Rory as well with his leadership coaching, we all support each other in so many ways, not just writing, not just social media and publishing, but through our weekly meetings. And tonight would normally be our weekly meeting. And so in a few weeks' time, our weekly meeting is going to be kicking over to book launch events. So we're using the same nights. And honestly, I value these meetings so much every week. And the power of working together and collaborating has been tremendous. And hopefully, you know, that collaboration will go beyond us and reach wider out into the world to get your books out there and help more and more people. So thank you, honestly, both of you. I really value you being part of the group as well. And
We value you.
do you realise that this month, I can't remember which date it was, I think it was the 12th, I think it's tomorrow. Do you know what? It should literally come, I'm pretty sure it was the 12th of September last year that we started the Self-Help Bookshelf. So let's say happy birthday to the Self-Help Bookshelf as well. And just a shame Rory couldn't be with us tonight because he'd got other commitments. But yes, so whether it is today, tomorrow, this week, the Self-Help Bookshelf is a year old as well. Even though the Facebook group and the YouTube channel came later, it was when we first started writing the books that we did released and published last year. So that was Emma's Critical Parenting Reframed, Rory's Neurocreative Recollections Volume 1, and I did a series of 12 notebooks last year, all on mindfulness covers. And I used my 12 notebooks to kind of practice over and over and over the publishing process to help the others in the group. So it was low content, but lots and lots of practice uploading and learning the process. But yeah, so with my new book out, after me saying to you, right hand, I'm doing it wrong. So with all our new books out, absolutely congratulations. And we will put the link here to the Facebook group. And you can find all of us on LinkedIn as well. Just look our names up, Facebook or LinkedIn, find us. And you will also find, I know Sue hasn't got a channel, but mine, Emma's and Rory's.
I have got a channel.
Oh, have you? YouTube channel?
Hardly used. But
okay.
I can change that now, can't I?
We can tag the YouTube channels in as well. And certainly if you go on the Self-Help Bookshelf channel, scroll down a little bit and there is already a featured channel link to Emma's and my other channel as well. So find all of them on there and we will see you all in the group. Comment here on the Facebook and on the YouTube as well. Please do let us know. and just keep in touch with us, comment, link, interact, because it all helps. Even a like all helps. And we will see you all for the next updates. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies.